Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Top 5 Tuesday. So this week, as I told you guys last week, I am going to be doing a healthy food swap edition then over these next few weeks. And last week was baking, which I will have the whole Top 5 Tuesday playlist linked down below. This week, we are going to do my Top 5 Healthy Food Swaps dinner edition. So let's get started. Number 1. Zoodles. So what is a zoodle? A zoodle is a spiralized zucchini. So I know you also can get out there, I've seen it in people's grocery hauls where they have bought already spiralized zoodles, sweet potatoes, butternut squash. I think that's all I've seen. I guess you could do yellow squash. I personally use a spaghetti, which I did get on Amazon. I will have it linked down below. I use that. It's very super simple. I think it was about $14-15 and it is so worth it. It is so easy. You would believe how many like noodles you get out of a zucchini. It is crazy how much you can get out of it. So highly recommend that. Use it in place of pasta. Or even anything you may use for rice. I know some people, when they make beef stroganoff, they put it either over rice or over pasta, or over potatoes. But for me, I like to put it over zoodles. Same with, I also like to make kind of a spaghetti out of it as well. It is really good. Even if you don't like zucchini, just give them a try and see what you think. Just try to find a pasta recipe that you would normally use pasta for and just replace it with some kind of vegetable, spiralized vegetable. So that is number 1. Number 2. Cauliflower. So this one's a pretty, one that people have heard of. It's something that a lot of people do, especially out there right now with this rice cauliflower thing that's going on. Now you could rice your cauliflower yourself. It's very easy. You just get your food processor out and you just cut up a head of cauliflower and you just pulse it until it's in rice, until it's kind of a rice consistency. I don't like to do that only because I hate my food processor. It's huge. It has so many pieces. It's in a really inconvenient spot because I never use it. So I don't put it, I don't like to take up, valuable real estate in my kitchen for things that I get out constantly. Plus, cauliflower in my area is really expensive. It is not unusual for you to spend like $4 or $5 for a head of cauliflower, and it's not even a big one. So I feel like buying those, you can buy them either frozen or fresh. You can buy the already riced cauliflower. I know Trader Joe's is pretty inexpensive. We don't have one near us, so I do just get it at Walmart or my local grocery store. For the fresh ones, I know Green Giant makes a brand that they sell at Walmart, and I believe it's usually about $3.48 for a package. The frozen ones are a little bit cheaper in my area. It's like $2.28 or something like that for the rice cauliflower. I do not find there's any difference between the frozen and the fresh, or even the ones that you rice yourself. I think they taste just fine. I use it in stir fries. I use it again with meatballs. I've used it with meatballs. I've used it with stroganoff. I use it in burrito bowls. Anytime that it calls for either rice or pasta, I will use the riced cauliflower. You also can use cauliflower in place of potatoes by usually making like mashed potatoes. Now, me personally, I don't like it just as mashed potatoes. I do like to add in half potatoes and half cauliflower whenever I do make a mashed potato recipe. So that's just my personal preference because I don't really think that a mashed cauliflower tastes anything like mashed potatoes. Now I have made the loaded, like kind of the loaded baked potato casserole, mashed potato casserole, where you do add in like fat-free cheese and milk and, things like green onions and spices. And I think that way it tastes fine without without like potatoes. But as far as mashed potatoes, I like to do a mixture of both. And that's another way you can use cauliflower. Gosh, there's so many different ways you could use it. So just look out there for cauliflower healthy food swaps and you'll find a ton of ways you can use cauliflower. Cauliflower is mild enough to where it kind of takes on the flavor of whatever you're cooking. Number 3, spaghetti squash. Again, this almost falls along the same lines as the way you use zoodles, so it's in place of pasta. I love spaghetti squash though so much more than just regular zoodles. It is so good. It's just a little bit pain to cook because it does take about an hour. You have to slice your spaghetti squash in half. It's very difficult to slice in half, so use a very sharp knife and be very careful. And then you just brush it with a little bit of olive oil And then I season mine with like onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. I've showed this in many of my meal preps. And then you cook it for face. You just you put them, you cut them, you put flesh side down, put them in the oven, bake them for like anywhere between 45 to 60 minutes depending on your oven. And you just scrape it with a fork and it just makes it's just like pasta. So good, you guys. It is so good. It does not really taste really squashy taste to me. It's just really good. So you guys should try it. I love it with, so you do, this is my favorite recipe with it. And I don't give you little recipes in these videos, but let me just give you one. It's so good. So you use the spaghetti squash, you put a can of fire roasted tomatoes, and you use some of the alfresco breakfast chicken sausages. The breakfast ones that are country style are only 1 point. I believe it's the country style, or 1 point a piece. So I do two of those, fire roasted tomatoes and the spaghetti squash. Yum. So good. I have not made it for a while only because it's been kind of warm and I had to have my oven on for so long. So it's more of a fall winter thing for me. So good. So you guys should try that out. And number 4, brown rice and quinoa in place of white rice. I have recently discovered quinoa and I adore it, you guys. It is so good. So good. You can really use that in place of anything you normally would use rice for, but I like to use it in my burrito bowls. I like it on my salads. And then brown rice is so much better for you guys than white rice because it's not stripped of all of its nutrients. So I like to use like a long grain brown rice. So good. So highly recommend you guys switching over to brown rice just for that little bit of more healthier option, and you won't notice a difference. After you eat it after a while, you won't notice a difference. It is so good. And number 5, ground turkey. And that's just in place of like ground beef, or use extra lean ground beef. That's what I have switched to. I have changed to either using ground turkey or extra lean ground beef. And extra lean, I'd say either 96.4 or 93.7. It's very, very hard for me to find 96.4 in my stores. Again, I know Trader Joe's does carry a 96.4, but again, I'm 2 hours away from a Trader Joe's, so I cannot go there and just pick up some meat. So I get the 93.7 ground beef, or I get the 99% fat-free ground turkey. Ground chicken is another option, but I also cannot find ground chicken in my stores very often, so I just stick to those two. So now I just use the ground turkey and the extra lean ground beef in place of the 80/20 ground beef that I used to use. And my family at first was a little bit hesitant. My husband, I should say, he noticed a difference for sure. But I noticed if I add, more spices to it, I add like onion powder and garlic powder and just add more spices to it, that it doesn't seem to bother him too much, but he's gotten used to it now. But so your family may be a little bit resistant at first, but believe me, they won't notice a difference after a while, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know. But my family just puts up with it because they know I'm trying to be, make healthier choices for all of us in our family. So hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what some of your favorite healthy food swap dinners are, or what you use in dinners to make it a little bit healthier. So let us know down below so we can get some ideas and let's talk about it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week in another Top 5 Tuesday. Bye, guys.